So hi Alexandra, nice to meet you and nice to see you again. Well, tell me a little bit about how did you become an artist?
I think I've become an artist thanks to two facts. First, it was my family, because I grew up in a family that was really related to art. My dad, he was a sculptor, my family friends were a lot of artists coming to the house. We are also collecting a lot of artworks when I was small from local artists. And second reason was that I always believed that an artist has a message to give to others. And I think it's impacted me a lot by saying that I can tell people a story or impact them through the art. And it was a big switch of my mind, because originally I was doing my studies in sociology of art, so I didn't think to be an artist. I was mostly analyzing other artists. And after that I told myself that there is a lot of impact in the piece of art itself than in the text that you write as a sociologist. Because when you work as a sociologist, you write, but it will be other scientists who will read your work and not like normal people. And I saw the message from the artist to people, and I think it was like somehow a combination for me, making photos since I'm 6 years old, because my dad told it how to do it, and I was using analog camera since I was very small, to the point where I realized that art is very impactful, like a tool of communication. And so the two combination of like I'm making photography since I'm very small, to the point like, okay, I can tell a message, I can have a positive impact through the piece of art. The combination of both created me as an artist.
And thanks. And how does the geopolitical situation impact or influence your work?
Yeah, I think the impact is behind me because I'm working mostly with photography, and I'm doing also installations. And all my installations are somehow related mostly to the climate change. Ecology is my main topic, because I feel like it's a big war and that we will have all together, it's ecology. And the political situation, first of all, political situation in Syria impacted me a lot, because by this time, when the war in Syria started, I went to Greece to work in Syrian camps, and originally I didn't think to make, like some beautiful works or aesthetic works about it, so I came as a reporter during the Syrian crisis. And I was speaking with children in the Syrian camps in Greece, trying to analyze what's happened, writing some text, making pictures, portraits of children. And I was horrified by this time. And when I created my articles, people were reading it, those who were really like interesting, but those who were not, they were like just refusing to see the reality of how the people live because of the war. So when the war in Ukraine started, I didn't have this like reflex to go and to make pictures. I came to refugee camp, but I did zero picture, because I know that humans are not very sensitive to bad pictures. You can see it for weeks, but after that they stop to follow news or stop to follow picture, just to avoid to have a lot of negative energy. So this time I was searching something to tell my feelings related to it, but not in the as a reporter, but as an artist. And also since I came to Greece for Syrian camp and to Ukrainian camp, it's really like 8 years difference. So when the war in Ukraine started, I was searching how to tell the story of people without taking my camera to the camps and like making it again this like very powerful photos, but maybe very painful for people. So I came to the point that I wanted somehow to overcome the spirit myself. So I started to paint and not taking pictures. So you see behind what I created during the first 3 months of the war. And I was painting more in silver color, because silver color was representing for me the arms. And it was first time that the tank entered Ukraine from Russia. And I also use a lot of yellow and blue, because for me it's national colors of Ukraine, and a lot of white, because white for me represents the birth and the end of the life. When we close the eyes, everything is white. So when we die, it's white. When we start the life, it's white. And during this period, I created this series that I was doing originally for me. I was not thinking to explosive. Just, you know, like my digestion and my feelings how to survive in parallel. I had my full family there. They called me because they saw bombardment from the house. So they saw how the city started to be bombarded by army. And for me, it was my way to survive at the beginning of the war, because my mom, she called me and she told that she thinks that she will be dead soon. So I was like ready to lose my family. And I created this, and after I was thinking a lot about the white lines, the stripes, because in Greek methodology we cut them when the person dies, so it was somehow also for me a metaphor from Greek methodology to my work. And I was also very passionate about history and methodology, myths, yes. And I conducted after the interviews with Ukrainian people in Ukrainian, and I translated those texts to tell the story of people. Some texts I found in blogs and Facebook, and I asked permission just to translate them to French to show. And during the exhibition, I connect all the paintings together with the story of the people to say that those are the stories behind those paintings that really make me think a lot about the work. And the stories have sometimes blue lines for the hard stories, white lines for less hard stories, just to prevent people from reading. And they're very powerful. Some of them are not so negative as we expect because it's war. Some people, they met each other together, and etc. Some stories it's really hard because people lost someone who is close. And yes, I think this series of work is very special for me because of this connection of subconsciousness when you create. Because when I created, I didn't have a clear explanation why I did it. I came to explanation after, you know, when we came for 2 years of war, and I was okay. We came, some time passed, and I thought, okay, I'm ready to exhibit it. I want to tell the story. I want to show these stories, and it was also very difficult, even personally. For example, I asked to my husband to read my translation because French is my second language. I speak multiple languages, and French still to be, literally, I was not sure if I translated it correctly 100%, so I asked him to read everything and tell me if there is any small mistake because I wanted to show this work. And he, after he read it, he was difficulties emotionally to speak, I think, for a few days because it was some stories, it was very hard to hear it. So I think it's something important to tell, but also people should be ready to hear. It's why I didn't came for report photography. I didn't took my cameras there, and I told the stories this way because this way people are more capable to hear them.
Would you say that this is your favorite work, or what about the photography? What do you like better?
You know, it's a very interesting question because recently Ukraine won an Oscar, and the filmmaker who did the movie about Mariupol, in front of everyone, he told like, this is the work that I wish I will not create in my life. You know, like I wish I didn't make this movie. I think it's the same for me. I wish I didn't make these stories. I wish I didn't make these paintings. So it's difficult to say their favorite. Probably the one of most important for me. I would not use the word favorite. They still will be very important to tell my story and a story for these people. But again, I wish I didn't produce this series.
Of course, yes, of course. And what brought you to Paris? How did you get here and to this space? And can you say a bit about the space so that people know a little bit about it?
Yeah, so Paris started for me 10 years ago. I went to make my studies in sociology of art. And this place is special because it's managed by Plateau Roman. It's type of temporary occupation when we take a place that should be reconstructed or renovated by some companies, and companies need sometimes 1 to 5 years to find papers to have a place. A very famous place like this was Les Vitrines. It was like associated place in Paris, an ex-hospital where we have a lot of artists, and it was very, very famous for 5 years, and after that now it's under reconstruction. And this is the same, it's called Les Vitrines, so it's temporary occupation by artists, craftsmen and NGO. And I applied. So how the application is going here? You have a lot of applications because we are in the heart of Paris. We have Seine River, we have Notre Dame that is in front. And you have an interview, you just explain what is your project, why you need this place, and they select based on, I think, impact of your project on society and people. So they measure somehow positive impact of association, NGO, artist, or craftsman, and they select people based on it. So for me it was a big change because I had my art studio before, but it was isolated. I didn't have, like hundreds of art studios just next to me. And I think also the result of this art studio is the fact that this exhibition, there are 3 artists, in me and in Olena, that is on the right side of me with the sculptures. She's also having her studio here, so we met this way, otherwise we will never met, I think. And it's also nice because I really love this idea of community building, so organizing meetings between artists. I also creating currently a project with other artists. There is, for example, a sculptor, Nathalie Mena, who is working with, in French it's plâtre, so when we use white form, when you broke your hand, how you call it?
A cast.
Cast.
Mm-hmm.
So she is cast to make forms of females.
Mm-hmm.
She's speaking a lot about females and the power of the woman in the society. So for example, with her we have a project that she did a sculpture of me, and I will make the sculpture on my photography. And at the end we will have half auto-portrait because she did a sculpture of me. I did the photo to create my auto-portrait in a different way. So it's an example of how we collaborate, exhibitions, different projects. So I think it's quite a unique place. And my goal, most of all, is to connect us, that when the place will be shut it down, that we're still connected. So it's why we're organizing this informal drinks to discuss the work of each other, to see how everyone is going, and we're having lunch sometimes, breakfast. And we are all very different artists because there is also on the same floor of the exhibition Nicolas, who is making decoration from the movie sets. There is just next to me Primavera Beatrice, she is working with plums. So everyone is very different in artist approach, and I think it's nice to have a common space to share what we're working on.
Uh-huh. And can you tell us a bit about your exhibit, the current exhibit here? It's just 6 days, I think, right? From the 21st to the 27th?
It's 7 days.
7 days, yes.
One week. And we call it Résonance in French. Why we call it this way? Because it reproduces 3 feelings of 3 different artists associated to the war in Ukraine. And each of us has different vision. We have invited artists that a friend of mine found out because she just saw her work on net, and she thought you should see her work, you can potentially work together. So I saw I want to invite her. So she's living in Lyon, and she's working about the memory of the places occupied by Russia. There is a second artist, Olena Voitenko, who is working with sculpture and emotions related to the war, and third, who I'm working with destinies. So it's memories of the places, emotions, and destinies of people. And it's worked very well together because visually, I think it's a good combination. Olena with a lot of white lines, me with my stripes, white lines, and also Alia, who is using embroidery. So we have a lot of elements that cross each other, and so I think it's very harmonic in the same place, regardless of the fact that it's quite difficult emotions behind. I think it works nice together. It's also why we created an installation with a lot of photos of the war, just to say what is behind those emotions, places, and destinies. But we wanted to create something, again, that will not create a painful feeling to the people coming, but something that will tell a story and maybe deeper the interest of some people in Ukraine and in the culture as well, and the feelings of what people are having right now.
Okay, well, thank you so much.
Thank you.